lively as before, and business seems to sleep before the fowls at night. Sisters and brothers, we now know how valuable NNP is for Grenada. NNP makes things happen positively in the economy in particular. Grenada today is saddled by an administration. Grenada today is saddled by an administration taking us on a very rough and tough ride. So we therefore welcome you. We therefore welcome you to this meeting where the relevant issues affecting us will be discussed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for that welcome. I think it's as good as the craft. I mean, I really don't want to say, but you look like when you see that you're really nice. They don't put their hand in everything, but let's see what happens. Right now. Something happening that we don't know about. But anyway, we will continue on. Yes. So we're going to try and deal with it as we continue to go on with the meeting. We have much more of our speakers to be here. They keep sending us the reasons why they're not here yet. I know, for example, Ms. Pierre moments ago said to me, she's coming from another activity, so she would be here within 5 to 8 minutes. Dr. Mitchell also is going to be here shortly, probably in another 10 minutes, because he too had another activity, as well as Dr. Modeste. They all are coming. But with us, we have some other brothers, a little bit new to the business, but as good as gold. I'm telling you, NNP always has it as good as gold. And to bring some welcome this evening, put your hands together for Brother Victor Philip, as we commonly call him, Bello.
Thank you, Brother Chairman. Good night to everyone. NMPites? Yes, man, let me hear if you're there. Rain not falling, so without reason to be cold. Don't worry about the mic. We're going to take care of that. We are all engineers here. Well, to the General Secretary, good night to you, sir. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for always directing us and keeping us good. And also to my former colleague from the East. And just to give you a little bits of that, when the gentleman was appointed lead, he reached out to me. He didn't want to talk to me on the phone. He wanted to talk to me in person. And he said, Brother Bello, I'm now being given the job to be the lead of the St. Patrick's East. And I want to share something with you. He said, my concern is not so much about East and West, but let us please collaborate and work as St. Patrick's. And I'm happy to hear that. Of course, I tell him, yes, I had that statement a long time ago because I only see an electoral boundary. St. Patrick's is from the north, and we should work together. Because not only that, if close parties collaborate, we get more work done. Because we would have more experience among all of us. And so therefore, we can get the work done more efficiently. So thank you very much, brother. So everybody, and I would like to say thank you. I see a few members from St. Patrick's West and St. Patrick's East, and for everybody else, thank you for coming out. My task here tonight is, I would say, simple. The reason for saying simple is because it's things that has done in the past, and things that we as a party had seen issues with, and already had started working on it. But somehow, as you know, sometimes it doesn't get good things going forward all the time, because some people just have other ideas and do not know how to carry out the other ideas. So my task here is to talk about education and also TVET, I mean the technical part of education. And persons who know me will understand why. I mean, I was the junior minister in the Ministry of Education. I was given that position with special responsibility of TAMCC. But with all that, I didn't start there. For who know me well, my role as a teacher starts at NULO. And I started at NULO not even having a clue what NULO is all about. But because of my past and what I had overcome, the director then had felt it fit to give me the job, because she think that my experience, what I going would have been a glorious opportunity to share with the individuals who goes at NULO and has similar issues, and they will understand that despite all what you may go through, that if you keep focused and with the right people around you, you can become good. And so I would like to extend a real great thank you to the director then, Ms. Anne Antoine, for doing that, and also for NULO for opening their arms to have me there, and so that I can make the changes and create changes within the young people, and which I do and which I continue after at TAMCC. So my thing here tonight is, as I said, thank you very much. I'm looking at education in Grenada for the past 10 years. So ladies and gentlemen, today, we as a people, we start at a pivotal moment in the future of education in Grenada. And everyone knows that long time, even our grandparents, I know my grandmother didn't get a chance to go to school, but she used to always preach with me, education is the only way out of poverty. So we have to keep strengthening and talking about education. So under the new National Party, which is our administration, we had seen commendable progress in education. However, despite these gains, under the leadership of the now new National Democratic Congress, the NDC, in 2021, several critical issues have surfaced. And I'm here to speak about some of them, particularly around the inequities in tertiary education, financial burdens for students, and infrastructural defeats that continue to hold our youth back. Allow me to highlight the achievements of the NNP administration. So we have to be reminded, because I think too much of time that we forget that a lot of things have been done by the NNP party. So we have to remind ourselves, and I'm here to do that tonight. The NNP administration in education, the assessing the current state of our education system, and present solutions to drive its progress moving forward. One, let us look at government policies and administration. The new National Party was in power during the period 2013, and I'm just looking back at just 10 years, right? 2013 to 2021. And in this time, the government focused on improving the accessibility and quality of education, with an emphasis on infrastructure development, curriculum enhancement, and teacher training. Let us look at present, that is under the NDC 2021 to present. The new National Democratic Congress, they took over, as we know, in 2022, sorry. Thank you for your correction. There has been a continued focus on the education reform with an emphasis on addressing inequalities and improving access to tertiary education. However, it was mainly with tuition. Remember that? What did they say? Okay. What did the NDC said when they came into power? They said they would be giving free tuition to everyone and to go to the tertiary, which is TAMCC and other tertiary institutions. But of course, little or no help with transportation and assistance with tools and books for those who can't afford, thus creating a very high percentage of dropouts, the highest in Grenada's history. Educational development. The tertiary educational enrollment. During the NMP times, there has been a significant increase in enrollment rates at the tertiary institution. The introduction of new programs and partnership with international institutions have attracted more students. We also had scholarship. Number 2, under the NNP party, there were various scholarship programs with approximately 1,000 scholarships awarded during this period, focusing on key areas such as health, engineering, and education. However, under the NDC, presently, the NDC had continued scholarship initiative. However, with varying funding levels and perhaps less emphasis on broader accessibility. It is estimated that around 600 scholarships have been awarded. But however, challenges related to funding and resources allocation have been prevalent. We now want to look at improvements during NMP administration. Number 1, we had increased focus on literacy and technical skill by prioritizing literacy and vocational training, addressing the skills gap and catering to the labor market needs. 2, they outline online and distant learning. So the integration of online learning, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, has improved accessibility to higher education for many students. 3, international partnership. During the NMP's governance partnership with institutions in the Caribbean and beyond have expanded, offering more opportunities for students to study abroad. Let's look at some of those things. We have issues plaguing tertiary education currently. 1, the biggest one, number 1, financial constraint. So although we have few tuition, and we had a high number of persons admitting or entering into those colleges, the tertiary education schools and campuses. But however, we have a lot of dropouts. Reason for that is because the same persons who have given the opportunity so that the tuition could be paid, especially for us, the people in the countryside, they have no money to send the kids to St. George's and other places where they have to go. So it is fantastic in giving those opportunities for persons to go into school. But what is more imperative is the consistency and to making sure that they attend classes. So if they don't have money to pay bus and to have meals, they will drop out, and that is what's happening. Number 2, infrastructure challenges. Some of the tertiary institutions still face issues with outstanding facilities and lack of essential resources, which can hinder the learning experience. I mean, these things, as we know, cannot come automatically. So it takes time to do. But the NNP has started the process, and to make sure they start putting things in place and doing and developing and adding much more resources within the tertiary institution so that we can have better learning. However, that has ceased. In the moment, that has ceased. We also have educational disparities. These are inequalities in access to quality education based on geographical factors. Of course, I just spoke a little bit about it. The rural areas. The rural areas often face more considerable challenge than in the city. And I would just like to give a little highlight. If people had listened to me in the last campaign, one of the things that I was rooting for is the thing that we need to decentralize a lot of those things. Too much of things is in St. George's. All emphases are placed in St. George's, and so therefore making it difficult for people in the rural area. Even when there are places, for instance, the Tamsisi campus in Sotez. While in Tamsisi, I used to be championing and making noise that we do not have space to take on the load of persons or the amount of people that is now entering into tertiary education in St. George's alone, and that we should look at putting some of these things other places. For instance, one of my suggestion was that since St. Patrick's campus was originally built for technical subject areas, money should be spent up there and improve on it and make it the only campus that deals with tertiary education and skill training. And so therefore, anybody wants to do skill training, go up to Sotez. I cannot understand why is it that every time that we have to go down to St. George's and to get our work done and everything done, and why is it that people from St. George's cannot go up to St. Sotez and we have to break that barrier. Unemployment. Graduates face challenges. So unemployment and underemployment. Graduate faces challenges in finding jobs that matches the qualification or experiences. Underemployment, which affects the financial stability and long-term career prospect. So in other words, we're having people upgrading themselves, but they cannot get jobs to accommodate that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Welcome to the political leader. Let us all stand and welcome the political leader. Welcome, political leader. Welcome. All right. Okay. So just finishing up here, in everything that we say, that we must have and offer solutions. And I will just give a couple of them. First of all, we have to have increased funding for scholarship. The government, who do a fair share of that, and also the private sector, they need to collaborate to create more scholarship programs. I must say that the private sector do, but I think that more private sector bodies need to come on board, and so that we can offer more scholarship to our people. Two, we have to enhance our infrastructure. Our educational facilities are in dire need of modernization, right? And therefore, students cannot be expected to excel, right? If they are learning in outdated and under-resourced environments. As we said, the NNP party, as we know, had started the process, and they had started to fix schools and centers all over Grenada. And we know that there's no secret about it. It's there. It's right in our places. And so therefore, this is one of the things that has been taken away, right? The next one is expanding our online learning opportunities. Education should not be limited by geography. Therefore, increased investment in digital education tools and platforms is necessary to ensure that all students, including people with disability or persons with disability, no matter where they live, have access to high-quality learning experiences. However, access alone is not enough. We must also invest in training educators in online teaching methods to ensure that they are equipped to deliver engaging and effective virtual lessons. So by expanding online learning opportunities, we can ensure equal access to education for all. As I conclude, brothers and sisters, I would say, and those who know about me, as I said, and I give a little earlier, I am committed to move our education system forward. NNP is also committed to move our education system forward. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Brother Victor Philip Bello. Yes? So he's telling us about our education institutions. So now we want to move on. The head table filling up. The big man of the hour is here. And so much more people have so many more things to say. So I don't want to say much, but to ask you to put your hands together and invite a gentleman. He's just going to bring welcome. He's not new to Grenada, but he's new to what he's getting into now. And so he is no other than the political lead for St. Patrick's East, Brother Bertrand John. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Want to recognize the head table, especially the political leader, Dr. Keith Claudius Mitchell. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very thrilled and absolutely happy to be with you here tonight. Looking at your faces makes me feel so happy that I don't even feel like speaking again. But tell you what, I'm a little deaf too, you know. I can't hear too well. So if you don't speak loud, I wouldn't be hearing you. NMPIs, let me hear you. Let me hear you one more time. NNPIs. I think I get back me hearing you now. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to leave you with a few words tonight. I want to bring you greetings from St. Patrick's East. The lovely people, beautiful people of St. Patrick's East. They send their greetings to your people, and I want to pass it on. Brothers and sisters, we are dealing with an absolutely insensitive government. Absolutely insensitive. I'm standing here just for a few reasons, few main reasons. And one of those reasons, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, is that, let me tell you, if you was to take away $150 from the poor, vulnerable, and ordinary people in our country, you have to be standing here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this government is very insensitive. Absolutely insensitive. How could you, as a government, as you get into power, you would increase your salary while at the same time taking $150 from the ordinary, poor, and vulnerable? And somebody just tell me, BJ, is not just increasing, no, it's increased by $6,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very insensitive government. Look, we have this issue in regard to Hurricane Beryl. In St. Patrick's, we had major damages and other places, but St. Patrick's was hit in a very, very, very serious way. And ladies and gentlemen, to date, this government haven't even paid the farmers of St. Patrick's the little bit of money that they had promised so they can go back and start resuscitating, rehabilitating the farms. They haven't even started doing this up to today. I don't know if they started sometime and I didn't know, but they haven't started yet. And I'm saying that if you really love farming, as you are saying, if you love the farmers, you will do better than that. 3 months after a hurricane, you are telling me that you couldn't even come up with a bit of money that you couldn't assist the farmers with. You got $118 million a few weeks after. Monies that you was given to assist the poor and vulnerable in our country. And what you turn around and do with those monies, nobody knows. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what NDC have done with this money that they would have gotten? I don't think so. We don't even have a clue. Tell you what, you say Dubai? Jesus Christ, not me that say that, you know, all you know. Am I hearing good Dubai? Ladies and gentlemen, tell you what. Let me tell you why these guys are so insensitive. You got $118 million, and what you turn around and do with it? You take $25 million out of this and you put in the development bank. In the development bank for who? Oh, and you turn around and you're telling farmers, you know something, you can go borrow. Where are we getting the collateral to borrow? Was those monies, given to you for that purpose? You have to be insensitive or you're stupid. I don't know which one. I have a feeling that is both. I have a feeling that you're insensitive and you're very stupid to be doing something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, what they did with our marketing board, and I'm speaking agriculturally here now, what they did with our marketing board, well, I'm not hearing you know, they close it down, I thought they turned it wrong side, you know. You understand? Ladies and gentlemen, what they did to our marketing board a few months after they get into office, they said it's transformation. Well, if this is transformation, well. What it is that they transform? Did they make it get worse? I'm sure they did. Ladies and gentlemen, think about our Maribo agricultural station. What is really happening there? Are we hearing any major thing happening in our country agriculturally? Yet still they turn on until they love agriculture, and agriculture is the backbone of our country. I'm not sure about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here because I know for certain that those sectors, our Nutmeg Association, our Cocoa Association, those things need to be rehabilitated. Those things need to be fixed. Unless we don't decide to fix those things, we're going to be having problems. We're going to be having problems in our rural areas. We are dealing with a group of people that don't seem to care or don't seem to understand what it is that they are doing. And I'm saying that all is not lost. You have the great NNP still around and still functional. With a very good leader at the top, at the helm. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something before I leave tonight. Listen to me absolutely careful. NNP now is stronger than before. And we have a mission to accomplish. And tell you what, we're not backing down. We're not backing down. We want back with country, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to fix it properly. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night and take care. God bless you, and I love you, love you, love you, love you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. John. You know, he had a little piece of paper that he write a few things on, but he ain't open it and read it. He just flowed. And I'm glad he didn't open it too, you know. He write the thing on a yellow paper. Anyway, brothers and sisters, let's keep moving. So you see the among the lovely people we have on platform to speak to you tonight. Go up. Thank you for coming out in your numbers. But there's one young lady who has to say something about the youths. Not a lot. I want you to pay good attention. All of us inside here, we youth. Yes? Yeah, it's just a number. I am a youth. And look at how much youth up there. Right? So, Miss Teresha Modest, she's going to come to the platform. Put your hands together for her as she reads something. Please.
A pleasant good night to everyone. With protocols already established, our political leader, the head table, and our NMPites supporters, I stand before you to address a matter that weighs heavily on my heart and on the future of the beloved nation. The plight of our youth under the current National Democratic Congress government. Drama. It is time we hold our leaders accountable for their promises and commitments, especially to our young people who represent the future of our island. Our youths are our most precious resource, brimming with potential, creativity, and ambition. They are the torchbearers of tomorrow, yet we find them increasingly disillusioned, marginalized, and without the support they so desperately need. The NDC government came into power with lofty promises and a vision of promises. However, the reality has been far from the vision. The youth employment rate in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique remains alarmingly high. That is not all the people, that is not all. Our young people are graduating from schools and universities with dreams in their hearts, but find themselves with closed doors and limited opportunities. The government has failed to implement effective job creation strategies, leaving young men and women feeling hopeless, undervalued, and to crime. Where are the initiatives that were promised to foster entrepreneurship and support small businesses in there? Where are the programs? I know, ask them. Where are the programs designed to equip our youth with the skills they need to thrive in today's and tomorrow in today's economy. The youth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique deserve a government that believes in them. That is why everyone should vote for the new National Party. We invest in them. We will invest in them and champion their rights. It is time for the NDC to step up, listen, and take meaningful action. But then again, they cannot even step up because one can listen to the other. So what we go do, we have to take over. They are not just the leaders of tomorrow. They are the leaders of today. We, the youth, are the leaders of today. I thank you.
That was Terry. Give her more claps. Clap, clap, clap for Terry. Wonderful, wonderful. We are the leaders of today, and they are the leaders of tomorrow. Yeah? I know all the youths feeling the pain. No opportunity for our young people. So we keep moving. Yeah. You see, on some other occasion, I would like to stretch that meeting for a long time. Because one time they said, go up, St. John's. Well, they said it was the tongue that never sleep. But they say nowadays, NDC prescribes sleeping tablet. They say, Oli, you know, follow, climb tree, and go upstairs to sleep. Well, I don't know. Anyway, there are people that are neighbors to the people in Goab. And good neighbors, eh? They're always looking out for you. Believe what I tell you. Your neighbors, looking out for you, you don't know. Let me tell you. Let me tell all you. We don't making confusion. We don't making confusion. I'm telling all you about a good neighbor. So, Madam, I don't know anything about NDC. I am an NNP, so don't tell me about NDC. Anyway, royalty in the house. She's special. She's your neighbor. And she wants to come to talk. You're saying, oh, Clarice Modest. They are telling you about your neighbor. Anyway, go up, put your hands together, and let's welcome your friend, your neighbor, your sister, Dr. Clarice Modest Cowie. I think the police want you. Just quickly, the driver of PAG 509, you're blocking somebody, and the police say that your last warning, eh? Go and move your vehicle now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. MC, the best MC in the whole of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and the Caribbean, and the world. Our General Secretary, Mr. Roland Bowler. Right, so good night, NNPites. Western Zone NNP. I like to hear that, and I like to see the faces. Permit me to just single out the head table here to recognize our political leader, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. To his right, Sister Emmeline Pear, and to his left, no other but my dear friend, Brother Alvin Dabrio. And we have Brother Bertrand, Brother BJ on the left. That's left hand? Left of Sister Emmeline Pear. No, and the right is so. I know the hand I does right with is my right hand. Brother Victor. So it's a pleasure to be among them. It's a pleasure to be here to speak with you. And I don't know if there'll be any time to listen to you formally, but we can always meet in the corridors and have some chat. Brothers and sisters, terrible, terrible, terrible times. When we think we hear the worst, joke we're making, it just gets worse and it doesn't stop. And I know the people keep telling me, sometimes when I think about health and I talk about health, I just want to cry. So sometimes I just stay away. The people tell me I'm bound to talk about it tonight. But before I go into health, I just want to clear out a few things. I know Brother Bertrand spoke about a little bit about the way the farmers are being treated here on the western side and the other parts, especially St. Patrick. But St. Mark got more than its fair share of destruction of the crops, especially the cocoa and the nutmeg. And St. Patrick got it even worse. And we see nothing happening in these areas. But a little bird pinched me and I had to talk about it tonight. Now they send people in the farmers' lands to check the lands and see what damage they have. Well, different farmers would have different amount of damage and they have different amount of lands. Then they say, if you have 5 acres and below, you get a certain amount, regardless to what the damage is. And if you have above 5, then you get another certain amount. And the farmers are saying that this money cannot do it for them. But they say, well, is that they're giving them, they're going to take it. They tell them the end of September. Not yet. 90 days after Hurricane Beryl and 2.5 months after they got the CRIF money. You know, they get it 14 days after Beryl. Beryl was on the 1st of July. Farmers are still waiting. The rain is falling when they should be planting. They cleared the roads to the main farmlands, but the farmers have not been given any assistance. And they keep telling me to talk about that too on the western side. But what I heard last night, I heard in a certain parish, no inspection and money passing. Money passing. So you see this inequality in this country. Farmers have to stand up. And farmers have to start demonstrating. I hear teachers might be demonstrating soon. Farmers have to start demonstrating. Farmers have to step up and speak up. Because when the rain gone by December and your land has not been cleared, and you don't get the money to pay people to work it, then our food security is in jeopardy. Sometimes you go in supermarkets, you can't see a cabbage. You can't see other fruits. No food in those markets. But they're waiting to give the money. So I just want to add to what Brother BJ said. The farmers need attention. Grenadians, and it's not just the farmers, because all of us going to suffer. That's why we're paying $15 for our breadfruit. Because no bananas, no monies to clear the lands. People of Grenada, we have to speak up. And we have to get ready to start demonstrating. If it was NNP in office, massive demonstrations in Tongue in the botanical gardens, why are we not having it now? We have the strength. We have the people. Look at this little hall, packed. Sunday gone, the hall packed. Everywhere NNP goes, it packed. How we can demonstrate? What we're waiting for? It's time for us to wake up, my dear brothers and sisters. And we must find out why one constituency getting money and the rest of us ain't getting. St. John, St. Mark, St. Patrick, St. Andrews, St. David's, all farming communities. And then we also have to take care of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So I want to encourage us to let us start a little backyard gardening. We can't make them think we sit down waiting on them. Let us do something. Because I planted a little corn the other day. Well, I didn't want to talk about it too early. I wait when I break them to talk about them because the next thing they're going to break it before me. So now I break the corner, I could talk. Let us do a little kitchen garden, sisters and brothers. Let us start the ball rolling so that they can see we're not sitting down to wait on them. So brothers and sisters, I am going to move to health because somebody will speak about Carriacou. No, well, I don't have much to say about Carriacou because a lot has been said. We heard Brother Cox very well. He's not here. But let us give a round of applause for an excellent presentation last Sunday by Brother Cox. And he gave us live and direct, brothers and sisters. We know what's happening there. But every time I hear the rain, and I know there is no roof in Carriacou to collect the rain, the assistants in Carriacou, I feel the pain for my brothers and sisters. What is going to happen when the dry season? Let us keep them in our prayers. Let us keep supporting them because some NNP in Carriacou don't get relief yet, brothers and sisters. Once you belong to the green, you cannot get assistance. They're doing as if everything is theirs. So we have to speak up for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to move to health. A major concern. Every day you hear something new. And what is very troubling to me is people are complaining. You're hearing people you know, your neighbors, people in your parish, people in other parish dying. People are accustomed dying. As one person, when I did the program, they said, well, people dying all the time. But brothers and sisters, when the number of children becomes more frequent than you ever had it before, that dying, you have to start asking questions. When the amount of mothers who go to have their babies are dying, we have to start asking questions. And as my young sister said, we have to hold them accountable. We cannot just sit down and say we can't do nothing about it. We have a right to talk and to hold them accountable, brothers and sisters. And when we keep silent, they feel we okay with it. We cannot be okay when our children are dying. And so the infant, what they call infant mortality rate, increasing. It shoot up and it don't going down. Pregnant women who gone to deliver, they dying. What is the reason? Up to now, we don't know. And maybe it might be difficult for them to find out, but they have to put mechanisms in place to find out. So you have to get a team to start investigating. What is happening to the maternity ward? What is happening in the children ward? Get to the pediatricians, get to the nurses, have a conversation. And my dear friend, the Minister for Health, must engage the nation and say, we have a problem. And we promoted ourselves. They promoted themselves as being able to fix everything. Plaster for every sore. Everything that wasn't happening, they're going to make it happen. So they promised, they said they had the skills. Let them prove themselves now that they have the skills. So we cannot let up. Tell the nation, tell us that you get a team together and all you investigating, all you doing tests, all you doing swabs, all you looking to see if you get a bacteria or something that you didn't know before. And if you have done that and you cannot come with an answer, then in the region we have a very powerful organization called PAHO, Pan American Health Organization. They are there to serve us and to help us, brothers and sisters. We just have to call on them. We have another country, not far from here, Cuba is there with a lot of experience and knowledge. Why haven't we asked them for help? We have other organizations right in Trinidad. That organization established to do research for the region. Why have not they been asked? Doesn't our life matter? Our lives matter, brothers and sisters, and we have to keep telling them that. So, no investigation declared to say, well, we started the investigation. No reports given, and they just treat us with disrespect. They disregard us as though we don't matter. But the point is, what they must remember, when health affects everybody, regardless of your class, regardless of how much money you accumulate, or how you accumulate it, whether you are an agency of the CBI, or however you get your money, health does affect everybody. And if no efforts are made to improve the healthcare in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, everybody, tooth bagay, all of us would suffer for that, brothers and sisters. But we also have to think of the poor people who cannot travel to go for medical attention abroad. They need even more attention. You know, our government, NNP, used to have a program to help persons with medical attention. Let's say it's not available in general hospital and you have to go to a private hospital. And of course the cost will be more. Then they would contribute something towards your health care. We used to do that routinely. If you had to go abroad, monies used to be given to assist persons to go abroad. I ain't hearing nothing so. As a matter of fact, what I hear, and I just saying what I hear, I saw a lady on YouTube or Facebook or something about her husband. Husband come from the States, Grenadian, to help. I say that the money should have been taken out from the $118 million that they get from the CREF and send that man back for medical attention. No, it is a shame that the government hasn't stepped up to say what they're going to do. You subject to the people and you leave them to beg on GoFundMe. That doesn't say they can't go there too. Maybe it will help, but the government should take the lead. The government should take the lead. My brothers and sisters, I don't know, maybe I didn't listen to the radio well enough. Did you all hear anything that the government is going to do for that volunteer person? No help at all. So pinch yourself. Pinch yourself. If you're not a volunteer that leave America and come quiet down here, and you fall from the roof, who's studying you? Nobody. Only NNP. And put your hands together for NNPites who dip in the pocket and raise in one little swipe, one little request, and we made over $3,000 for that gentleman. It won't do everything, but it's a good start. And whatever we have to do, we'll continue to do. So brothers and sisters, the point is, when we had Ivan, we didn't have an insurance. We didn't have money there. And so Dr. Mitchell and his team went all over. And people came to us and asked what we needed. And we were ready, Dr. Mitchell and his team were ready to give them a list of what they need. 90 days later, they don't know what they need yet. Because if you don't know what you're doing with the people who were in the schools, in the shelter, if you don't know what you're doing with the children, if you still have galvanizing all the playing fields in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, after 3 months, you don't have a plan yet, and you can't tell us, you can't tell farmers, you can't tell nobody. Shame on NDC for treating Grenadians like that, brothers and sisters. So, brothers and sisters, apart from doing the research to see what is happening, the point is, one of the things that we know is happening or is not happening is that we do not have medical supplies in the hospitals and in the clinics. Most times you go, they give you a prescription. Sometimes they give you a prescription for things that are not even in the pharmacies, that these things have to be ordered specially. And they don't care. They don't feel they have to tell us anything. They don't owe us any apology. And you know what? If you see the little bit of few millions they put for health, you know you're short on medication. You're short on doctors and nurses. You have to sweeten them out. You're short on other equipment and so on. You put a few million, but millions for other things that are not as important. They may be important, don't get me wrong, but they are not as important as health, because the health of the nation is the wealth of the nation. I hear they say they bring up plenty vehicle in Carriacou, more vehicle than walk. And up to now, they have not told us what is the plan for these vehicles and them. So I have a question. What will the vehicles be used for, Mr. Prime Minister? Honorable Deacon Mitchell. And for presently. And what will you do with them when you're done? What will happen to them? Who will get it? And we have to watch that, because that is where our monies are going, brothers and sisters. Shortage of staff. We know nurses does go. Sometimes they want to go to greener pastures. You can't stop them. Doctors may want to go. But you have to engage them. When that's all you hear about a meeting with the nurses and the doctors and the staff in the hospital to see how we could improve on what is happening. There's no meeting. We don't know if they're having it behind closed doors, but I hear about no meeting. If people, and then when you short staff and more work for everybody, maybe nurses and doctors have to come on the ward more frequently. I understand sometimes they have to call from the ward to assist in casualty, brothers and sisters. You know, it pains me to talk about that, because I know people are hurting. The staff that deliver the work, the patients, their family, people are hurting. And I would have liked to talk about something else. Not as sensitive as health, but it has to be spoken about, because these people and them feel that they could get away with whatever they do to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Not so. And we have to stand up, brothers and sisters. You know, the last time we had a nice big delegation going up to Cuba, and I say, okay, they're going to ask for some doctors. Because I know when we had ministers for health before and they go to Cuba, if they don't come back on the same plane with workers, next flight, staff coming down. Because we have to do something about it. We have to fix it. Have they engaged SGU? There are Grenadian students abroad who studied in SGU who might be willing to come and do a stint. We are in a crisis. What are they waiting for? How many more of our children, of our parents, our mothers, how many more of our family must die before NDC decide that they must do something serious for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? Brothers and sisters, at a time when money flow in, they meet a pregnant treasury. They say they sell the most passport. That's the one that they think they didn't want to sell it, but they say they sell plenty, and they make plenty money. Not me that say, it's them that say. At a time when we get insurance money, and they're still doing their collections like from customs and so, at a time when you can spend some more money on health, a time when you cannot do more for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And I must add a little bit about the schools, the school feeding program, because that is health too. They came, they meet something working, and I always hear they say, if it's not broken, don't fix it. They feel they could fix or make it better than NNP. But somebody should have told them they can't do nothing better than NNP. We've been there and we could do it. But they said that they were coming and fix the school feeding program. Now I hear the children going to school and they don't get in food. Nourishment for their bodies, brothers and sisters. Nourishment for their brains. Just to strengthen their little muscles, to keep them, fit and alert in the school and to learn. So I am afraid of what results we're going to get when we have exam results early next year. What is going to happen? And unless we stand up for our children in the schools, unless we speak up on every occasion, unless we get ready to pick up placard and in a very orderly, organized way, protest for the lives, for the education, for the health of our people, brothers and sisters, we're going to be in a bad, bad way, because the money spending and the bad spending, and before we know it, there will be no money to do what they're really supposed to do. My dear brothers and sisters of the Western Zone, I love you. And don't make that mistake again. When Brother Bola talk about the neighbor and how the neighbor care about all you're not supposed to ask who. Know who is all your neighbor now and who cares for you. NNPI, Clarice Modest Cohen. I love you. Take care, brothers and sisters.
Your good neighbor. Good. Good clap for her. Thank you, Dr. Modest. It was only 2 Sundays ago we were in St. Patrick's St. Patrick's West, the Anglican school. And I did song the warning that the little bird told me, no money for school feeding. Now the teacher is quietly telling the children and giving them little notes. Tell your mother, give you something in a container. Yeah? So they met it good. $1 contribution. That's what the children had to do, you know, $1. And even if they didn't have the dollar, they still got food. No one was turned back. But the little dollar collection assisted. So when government was slow or a little late with the money, the dollar was... Yeah, when we grew up with old people, they say he blocking a hole. Yeah, not so? He blocking a hole, the little dollar. Now they take it out, they want to play bright. They say them is big shot. They ain't lie, eh? But to fly go in a certain place. Big shot. First class flight. I don't know where. What do you call the place? Wait, anyway, before you get me into confusion, let me give you a little housekeeping matter. I was supposed to tell you all year on, but I forgot. Now, the school made available for us toilet facilities. And they say they're giving us the best, so we're getting the staff toilet, not the children one. So you go down that corridor, and it's a little room somewhere down there. You're going to see it, man. You must mark. Either you have a little man and a lady drawing it. Well, nowadays, some of them toilets are 3 people drawing it, eh? Because you have male, female, and something in between. I don't know what they call it. So look for that. Just look for that, and all you go get it. Anyway, we're moving on. NNP8? Yes. So I want to bring on another sister, another royal lady, special princess. Yeah. She's from the parish and the constituency where I am from. But she's not from the constituency. She lives there. And if you live there, you're from there. Yes. So let's put our hands together and let's invite to the microphone Sister Emmeline Pierre.
Thank you, Brother Bowler. Thank you so very much. Let me recognize on the platform Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, political leader of the New National Party. I want to especially recognize my colleague sister, Sister Clarice Modest Cowan. Your humble servant, I have to call him as early as possible. I want to recognize a friend of mine, Brother Dabrio. I had to be here tonight to give him my full support. And of course, he has so much support on the western side. Brother Bello, Brother Victor, and I want to recognize Brother Bertrand John this evening. Give all of them a round of applause. But I want to recognize especially you, the supporters of the New National Party. Put your hands together for yourselves. Those of you who are inside and those on the outside. When I came, I thought, oh my goodness, there are more people outside than who are inside. And Brother Dabrio, the next time we come to St. John, no. We need a massive hall. Because the people outside, they can't get inside here. Yeah? And I want to especially recognize them, but more so, the young people who are here this evening. Put your hands together for them. You know, this group of young people, and I wish there were more on the inside, I could have them stand. These group of young people have been following every meeting, not online, physically present. And I want to recognize them specially. But you know what they've said to me? They said, we want to speak. That's right. And you saw that young lady came up here tonight. Put your hands together for her. You know, as she was speaking, it reminded me of when I joined this party almost 21 years ago. I got an opportunity that these young people must now have to express their views, to speak on behalf of other young people. And I feel so very proud of them. Another young man called me, he said, I'm coming up here, I want to say something on the platform. I said, well, everybody can't speak in one night. Put your hands together for the young people of the New National Party. I'm so impressed with the number of them who are coming forward, wanting to be part of this movement. Brothers and sisters, I'm also very happy. Very, very happy. And I'm not going to look at where the person is sitting down. But there's a particular person in this room who has been conversing with me since 2022. That person has shared with me some WhatsApp messages that I can define as nothing but bullying and victimization. That person, and I'm not looking at the person because I don't want you to suspect who it is. That person has been afraid of coming to a public NNP meeting because of some of the threats received by messages on phone. And some of those messages were shared with me. Tonight I feel good to see the person here. Brothers and sisters, we have a right, and we must not allow anyone, as I said before, to trample on those rights that we have. The law is very clear. We have a right to assemble. We have a right to a political affiliation. But I want to do one more recognition tonight. I want to recognize the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force who are here tonight. And I especially recognize them because I notice a trend since the last general elections, that we have been having meetings and meetings around this country. And for some reason, it appears that the hierarchy of the Royal Grenada Police Force does not see it necessary to provide protection at these meetings. So I am very happy, and I hope this is a change in the views of those who are running the Royal Grenada Police Force, that we deserve protection just as every other citizen of this country. As a matter of fact, it is quite normal that anytime there's an assembling of people in any part of this country, that's traditional, that the police ought to be present to ensure that people are protected. Not NNP people, people are protected. So those who are here, convey on my behalf to the leadership of the Royal Grenada Police Force that we appreciate that they have come to terms with what they are supposed to be doing to protect and serve. Brothers and sisters, before I take a few more minutes to speak on one particular subject this evening, I must make reference to a press conference that was held this afternoon. And I was just scrolling through Facebook, quite honestly. And I got onto the press conference just at the point that it was said that for many years, the last 30 years, this is what is said to the people of Grenada, 30 years now, it is quite normal for people to be just bumped off the system. You should know better. It is quite normal for hundreds of people suddenly to not be paid salaries for months. Brothers and sisters, people have been fooled once. People have been fooled maybe twice. But I guarantee this government, it would never happen again. And so when you make such pronouncements, it gives me a feeling as if you think everybody you're speaking to are fools. I mean, my God, there are people within the Ministry of Finance who can correct the minister to say that that is not true. You are talking about people, in some cases, permanent workers, 14 years in the service, and you watch people and telling them it is normal for them not to get paid for months, and that we are going to devise a strategy to correct the problem. Brothers and sisters, we better wake up in this country and understand that there are some people who are leading us, and they are leading us down a path of destruction. Because they behave as if, let us take the fool further. And I listened to this thing and I thought to myself, oh my God, how do you look at people with a straight face and tell them something like that? But let me just address the issue of temporary workers not getting paid. And this was not what I intended to speak about tonight. Brothers and sisters, I remember in 2022, and credit to the president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, he has said to the nation that we had a meeting every month to discuss issues. And one of the issues raised was indeed the delay in payment for temporary teachers. And I'm talking about persons who are coming in, and maybe in those cases, those persons who are just coming into the system, I should refer to them in that way. So your first stint, and we know that that process is a drag-out one. When I started to teach, and this is so many years ago, I was told by the principal on day one, it's going to take 3 months for you to get your first salary. Right? So that's historic. Many of you taught before. We sat with the union and the team from the Ministry of Education, and we came up with a plan. We went further. We met with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of DPA, what do you call it? Department of Public Administration, Sister Rhonda. We brought in someone from the Public Service Commission, and there was a 3-way meeting that established a protocol going forward to reduce the timeline. You know what I heard with my ears today? Well, you know, we have to bring the different people together to sit down and work out a strategy. Well, there was a strategy, but the problem is that you got rid of the people who are involved in developing the strategy. So you're back to square one. And I'm calling on this government. There is something called institutional knowledge. That you want to make sure that when you're going to start something new, they like new things. You check with the people who have been involved. You check with the people who know. You involve people in consultation so that you come up with a plan that can work. That brings me, brothers and sisters, to the school feeding program. And you know, I wonder sometimes if it's not wickedness. And you know why I say this? I don't just say things just like that. The current Minister for Education was part of a committee that was looking at strategies for enhancing the school feeding program. There are documents in the Ministry of Education that actually speaks to certain things that were going to be done to further improve that program. Ask Miss Mary Lord, she served faithfully on that committee. Ask Mrs. Ann Antwine, she served on that committee. And these were not people employed because we wanted the views of not just people in the system. Brothers and sisters, so when you look at a program like that, heading backwards, full speed, it burns your heart. When a principal says that he has to find or she has to find strategies to cut up 1 chicken wing in 3, this is no joke. Brothers and sisters, we moved. And you see, when you are introducing policies, you don't just do it to tick off a box. You do it because you are convinced that it's going to bring betterment. And you do it after you would have consulted with those involved. I can guarantee you that principals were never consulted on this new policy. I can guarantee you education officers were never consulted on this policy. So obviously that policy must fail. Brothers and sisters, I want to say to this administration, this school feeding program is too important to be trivializing in that way. But you know what is absurd, what is frightening? The government, I am sure, charters a plane to take the entire cabinet to Carriacou to serve meals to some students in a school, while some schools here can't even buy a pound of chicken to cook for students. You know, I wish we can get things right. While that is happening, a delegation is traveling back to Grenada first class, and a principal cannot buy a box of chicken. These are the reality of the situation that we face. And all we are saying to this administration, you cannot continue to go down this road that you are going. But that brings me, brothers and sisters, I want to say a few words this evening on the subject of pension. But it connects with what I just said. The disregard for people who know better. The disregard for people who must be involved in processes. So you ask the government, with the new pension plan, the new pension scheme, what level of consultation was held with members of the various unions that represent workers in the service? You ask them. I challenge anybody in this room, find a union representative and ask them to explain the new pension program and come back and tell me what they say. I challenge you, because if they are representing workers, they must be able to explain to you the program that is being rolled out for workers. And I guarantee you they cannot explain it to you. And this is where we have found ourselves. So, brothers and sisters, I want to take the time this evening to share some facts as it relates to pension. Because what I've realized is that there are persons who have done an excellent job in misleading people. An excellent job in tricking people into believing things that are false. And so let me share with you that in 1958, you know that the British government would have passed this law to introduce pension in Grenada for those workers who meet the criteria. Everybody knows that. Brothers and sisters, we know that when you speak pension, you must be in a pensionable position to qualify. When I speak about tricks, when I speak about misleading, go back to the campaign and hear what was said. So we also know that the person who qualified were also entitled to what is called gratuity as part of that 1958 law. So that's established. And I want to make sure when you leave here this evening that nobody can trick you when it comes to pensions. So when you hear NNP people saying, NDC say that they started pension, NDC say that they reintroduced pension, it tells me that NNP people not minding their business. So brothers and sisters, in 1983, we know that the People's Revolutionary Government would have introduced an act to disqualify this pension that I referred to that was introduced in 1958. Now that disqualification paved the way for what? The introduction of NIS. And we know that NIS, obviously, was to cover all workers, while the previous pension plan catered for people in a pensionable position. Brothers and sisters, we understand what happened in 1983. We understand all of the circumstances. And so because of that, only in 1985 was this law gazetted. Now, do you know what that means? Between that period up to 85, what happened? Of course, there was one brave lady, Hamilton Armstrong, who decided that she was going to take this matter to court. Because although she was outside of that period when it was passed, she said, well, no, it wasn't gazetted, so I am still covered. She took that matter to court, brothers and sisters. And what happened? You know what happened? She won that case. The court ruled in her favor. But I want to draw your attention to something very significant. Because I'm convinced without a shadow of a doubt that there's no political organization in this country. And you could only say that if you know the facts. There is no political party, no political organization, no government that has served in office that has done as much as the new National Party's organization when it comes to pension. And this is a fact that no one could dispute. No one can refute this. The court ruled, not when NNP was in government. Who was in government when the court ruled? NDC was in office when the court ruled. And the court ruled that Hamilton Armstrong and others, 56 of them, that they were eligible for pension according to the 1958 Act. Did NDC pay them? No. Not 1 cent. Brothers and sisters, it was till 2018, till 2018, under the new National Party administration, that the decision was taken to obey the orders of the court. NNP say, if the court say pay, we must pay. And guess what? 56 people were paid pension, costing the government over $7 million under the new National Party administration. So if you're sitting there and you're agreeing with somebody who say an MP never paid pension, then it means that you don't know the facts. You don't know your history, as somebody said. Brothers and sisters, we understood very well that this has implications. That this had implications for the whole issue of pension going forward. And guess what? The NNP lived up to its obligation, honoring the court decision, but NNP went one step further. NNP did not just take the decision of the court and say, these 56 people, we are going to pay them full stop. What happened was, NNP took the Hamilton Armstrong case as a model. And we met with the union, asked Brian Grimes, asked all the other leaders of the union, asked Brother Jude. Well, I don't think he was there as the president at that time, but he must have been aware that the administration was willing to sit and to discuss. Brothers and sisters, there are 3 things that the union and government was able to agree upon in an MOU. Workers will continue to contribute to NIS and will not pay into any new pension agreement. On a monthly basis, they will be paid a minimum of 70% of their final salary, and I'm talking about people who retired. Brothers and sisters, the other thing that was agreed upon, any salary increases given to public officers will be given to pensioners. So you may not remember this, but after the group in question, the NNP started that process of making payment to other persons who are not in the group of Hamilton Armstrong. which tells me that there was a commitment of the NNP administration as it relates to pension. Fast forwarding. Brothers and sisters, the union and government could not agree on one matter. And what was that? Payment of gratuity. Pension was never the issue. As a matter of fact, the agreement between the union and government at the time, the pension rate was even more than what the 1958 Act said and what they're going to get right now. 70%. So they were better off under that agreement. But guess what? The union decided we want to go to court because this gratuity thing, we're not happy. And don't fool yourself. Gratuity is not separate to pension. It's part of pension. Some people call it a loan, an advance on your pension. So it's not separate money. It forms part of the same money. So what we were saying is all of this backlog, all of this lump sum that has to be paid up front, we are not in a position to do everything. So let us go ahead with paying pension as we have been doing. And let us phase out the payment of the backlog. That's what we said. We were committed and we were paying pension. But the NDC said, no. We would pay everything. Everything. Backlog, everything. No problem. Brothers and sisters, I ask one thing. Well, let me say one thing before I ask you one thing. There is only one reason, and that's why I say be smart, don't be tricked, don't be fooled. There is only one reason NDC could have made that promise that they will pay pension as soon as they get into office. And that is because, well, I see you hinting a second reason. That is because NNP, two things that has to do with NNP, you know. The first one being that NNP said, we are not going to object to this ruling. We are going to go ahead with the court's ruling. We're not going to appeal this case at all. We're going to pay. We're going to do what we have to do. But the second reason, because one could say, well, I don't trust NNP. Next thing they say that and they don't do it. There was no way that we could have escaped paying the pension. And that is because we said we're not going to appeal and we allowed the time to expire for an appeal. So NDC said they will pay because they know they have no choice according to the fact that NNP had allowed the time to expire for appeal. You can't appeal, so you must pay. But the second thing, you must know that the NDC had connections in the Ministry of Finance. So the second thing is that the NDC knew that there was sufficient monies there, even if after that we can't live and survive. They knew what was there, so they could have made that promise. Could they have paid anything had it not been for the hard work, the visionary leadership, the commitment of the new national party? So even if, brothers and sisters, NDC feel that they want to give some credit to themselves for paying pension, most of the credit must go to the new national party government. Brothers and sisters, I want to close off by saying this. We decided that we were not going to appeal. We engaged the union to come up with a way forward. We begged the union, let us sit and work out a way forward. I can say for a fact, but it's my belief, that the union also believed that things were going to be better under NDC. But today, brothers and sisters, I close as I started. You ask the union, have the government been involved in you on the subject of pension and payment of pension? The answer, well, we've heard them. We've heard them speak about that. But brothers and sisters, I say open your eyes. Look out, public officers, open your eyes. Because there's a court ruling that this administration then would have supported. We did not appeal it. And I say to the administration now that public officers, the new National Party would be looking on carefully to make sure that you're not going to be breaking the laws of this country. You're not going to be going against the ruling of the court, and that whatever you do will be in the interest of the public officers of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So brothers and sisters, we're going to continue this conversation because we believe the bread and butter issues that were spoken about in 2022, they are far more relevant today than they were then. May God bless you and keep your eyes open and monitor what's happening, because you have a right to protect yourselves and to protect Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Pierre. Now, Sister Pierre finish. Yeah, we ain't taking questions yet. We go take it a little later. Yeah? Watch my face good and remember me. When Sister Pierre finished speak, I must say this was a good lesson. This is facts. Indisputable facts. Yes? None of them can stand. If it was one of them that finished speaking, I would have said, you hear lie? But not this time. This time is facts. As we move on, and the hours are going by, one thing in Guav, time does run fast, you know. No man in Guav faster than other place. Yes, darling, you have a house for me? My ears could hear you. I could stay up. By who? Tell me on the mic. So my wife go here, she no go nowhere sleep. All right. Listen, it's not a sad story, but I just want us all, and many of us probably would have known this lady who was buried this afternoon, stalwart of the NNP. Yes? Miss Barry, yes, Verena Barry, better known as Miss Dean. So if right where you are, just stay there. Just have a moment of silence. Just one moment of silence for Miss Dean. Please, starting at this moment. Outside too, we want you to participate. A moment of silence for Sister Dean. May her soul and the soul of all the departed rest in peace. Amen. Amen. In my next life, I will be a priest. Anyway, we're moving on. We're moving on. Not only me that wanted to be a priest, you know, but I will leave that for another time. That story is not for now. I want to bring you another speaker. A man who would speak to you almost like a pastor. I call him the quiet storm. Always easy, but don't trouble him. He has been the parliamentary representative of St. John's. St. John's, people, put your hands together as I invite Brother Dabrio, Alvin Dabrio, to speak to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And we have our political leader and the leader of the Her Majesty's opposition, Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. And we have the MP for St. Andrew Southeast, Sister Emmeline Pierre. Also the MP for St. Mark, Sister Clarice Modest. We have Brother Botran, Brother Bello, who is the lead in St. Patrick, East and West. And to everybody here, a warm welcome from the tongue that never sleeps, but now it's sleeping. Right, no money. Right. I was going around with the PA system yesterday and today. And the lady stopped me and she said, Mr. Dabrio, we know the NDC bad. That's the worst government we ever had. So what I would like to hear is what you would like to do for us when you get back in office, because NNP going back soon. I said, that is true. But in this meeting, we're talking about how bad it is. We have an MP here in St. John. And that person is always embarrassing us every time she opens her mouth in Parliament. And even when people speaking, she making a long stoops. She call us commoners. She went in there and talking about the same CRIF sister Clarice spoke about that NNP took out after Ivan to help us. She said that was done in 2015. How could you go in Parliament and lie so? We didn't elect you for that. We want good representation, and we're not getting that. We also have a speaker there that doesn't know the rules in Parliament. Because when she talk about when you have to go and negotiate with the people that would help us, she called them big dogs. So when the speaker tell her about that type of language, she said, I said big boys. But well, we know the tape is there. But he apologized. One time he apologized and he blamed his hearing. He didn't hear right. When Dr. Mitchell spoke the truth about what Tevin did in his life, everybody see what Tevin said. He asked Dr. Mitchell to withdraw because Tevin said it's not true. He believed Tevin. How could you be a speaker? Right? You say you don't know about it, you haven't seen it, but you make a decision right there and then. That just shows how biased you are. And then you should resign because you're not a good speaker. And you're encouraging the other members of the government to do all these manje popo things that they're doing. About 2 weeks ago, I was listening on the radio to the NDC heartbeat. Because sometimes, you know, I just listen to know what's going on. And they had the Minister of Foreign Affairs. That's Andal. And I know Andal grew from humble beginnings. I know him, people in Guam know him. His father was tall boy. His father used to work for my father. So it's, you know, nice people, humble and bola, etc. But now he with the NDC, and he, well, I don't know, because he lied about the signing of the document in Brussels. I guess he had to lie because the Prime Minister said they didn't sign it, so he had to fall on the sword. But I'm talking about what he was saying in Dubai, because the previous High Commission in Dubai is somebody from St. John right here, and the office was running, right, without any expense to the government of Grenada. Because the NNP government, that's how we operate. We make sure that we manage the money of the taxpayers very efficiently and effectively. We do it as if it's ours. We take care of it. But Andal was saying they're spending now about $1 million, right? Because they have to pay the guy, pay you, why, pay the children, give them a high a penthouse suite in Dubai, right? And then he's trying to make NNP look bad as they didn't want to spend money, right? You see, we are the ones that looking after the people's money. They are the ones that spending it lavishly. All they want is to have a good time and spend the money. But at the same time, you have people here in Karakou and also in Petit Martinique with no roof on the head, but they gallivanting all over the place. And the MP we have, but she also is never here. Always traveling. Sister Clarice and I, and even Dr. Mitchell, we had support from Sister Emlyn to get the funds to build this beautiful facility here in St. John. While it was being built, NDC was saying it's a white elephant. And today, they're making it a white elephant. Not one child has been delivered there yet. And they had 15 beds in a maternity ward up there. That's what our MP is doing for us. And that's what this government is doing to us. The health system, well, Sister Clarice tell you how poor it is. And you know, in the outer villages right now, you hardly seen any doctors here in St. John. And she and the PM promised if they get in office, we would have 24-hour health care in St. John. Look at our playing fields. You pass wrong from Cloget to Power Park. All the competent people that we had looking after the playing field, when she came in, they fired them. And she put people that's very incompetent. They know nothing about sports and playing field. But that's who they give the contract to look after the playing field. They're only cutting it now once in a while. And some areas, they haven't been cut for this year, period. And what I'm saying is things that you could see. Visit them when you're going to see those playing fields. Look at the state they're in. Even, they say she originated from Mongrambi. We had lights bought and paid for Mongrambi playing field. I understand it was MIT that moved it from St. John, from Mongrambi. And what have she said or done? Nothing. But that's the person who say they care about Mongrambi. We had over 2 million approved for housing in Stony Gut and in Black Bay. When the NDC do the budget, the first year in office, they put back the 2 million there. The last budget, they take it out. And Sister Emlyn and Sister Clarice asked in the parliament, what about that 2 million for Stony Gut? You know the MP in St. John say they sell the land? The biggest lie. How could we trust you? The land is right there, sisters and brothers. Nothing for St. John. And look, they have my sister in St. Mark's, and I have nothing against St. Mark's. I want to see them flourish. But you know that there is a housing scheme in Diamond. They still haven't given the houses to the people. And in the last supplementary budget, they put over 200 houses again for St. Mark's. Right? But nothing for St. John. They had some people through Beryl that have lost their roof. They give them some tarpaulin, and up to today, nothing more. And it's a cheap tarpaulin because number 10 said, you know who number 10 is? That after Ivan, 15 years after Ivan, some people still have tarpaulin. Well, I want to get some of those tarpaulin. They got that better than galvanized. And she was Minister of Housing then, all those years. So you see, that is what happened when you join NDC. You just lose your mind. Now they're talking about Project 500, building all kind up to 4-bedroom house, you know. Right? But housing as a government responsibility is for low-income people who cannot get a loan in the bank. They take the low-income housing and they sell it for who have money. And now they're talking about a Project 25 that would give you up to a 4-bedroom house and all kind of thing. But sisters and brothers, that is another pie in the sky. And you know you're good at that. We look, they're going on 3 years now in office. They say they like young people. Not one batch of Imani since they took office. They killed Project Fly. They killed the Empower program. So they're doing nothing for youths. They fooled them again, the ones that were there under the NMP, say, with one stroke of a pen, we're going to make you permanent. They're still waiting. But what they meant is that they're going to send you home permanently. Right? And they're talking about young people, you know. We had a preschool slated for closure by BNTF. Right now, they're dead. They were talking, Florida government school is in Loretto, where Sister Emlyn was the minister. We visited a piece of land next to the Florida playing field. We also visited another piece of land by Shaper School, because if the school is for Florida, right, it have to be accessible for people in Florida and also for people in Clocher. You don't take it and put it in Loretto and still call it Florida Government School. So, and the funds were there. Right now, they forget about that. So I wonder, what is the so-called MP in St. John's doing for us? Everything that we have to better our lives, forget it. It's just to better them. We had be looking now and we're seeing all our roads deteriorating. I went up by the falls yesterday. You had to play draft when you're driving, or Chinese checkers. So much hole in the road going up there. We had the new piece of road in Bull Hill, the same thing, all kind of holes, and they're not maintaining. We had money budgeted for Mongo Road. They took it out in the last budget. Now they take the insurance money and they say they put some money for Mongo Road. We're watching Mani Road. Money was budgeted for that. Nothing happened there. The foot from the top of Market Square to the foot, that was budgeted for. Central to Dr. Bell on the top, that was budgeted for. And Mongrambi to Palmis, all these roads are dead. And all that they're doing, you know, is they send a lot of hot mix to fix the road up to George Vincent, and all the supporters, they're building road or they're fixing like a walkway for them. And that's all they're doing. But the majority of the people of St. John, they forget them. We remember the Prime Minister was saying, he was talking about the Molyneux Road. And he said if they were in office, right, they would have put all priorities on that road or any road that's a major thoroughfare. He said they would fix it in 2 months. They're going on 3 years. Molyneux Road still not fixed. Right now, we see the block of Mabuya, 29 June. That's going over 2 months. Nothing happened there, like they forget that. But that's the same man that says, if it was under their watch, they would fix it in 2 months. So this is what, like Dr. Mitchell, more manje purpose again, you know. We have a road 3 years now, Waterloo Bridge working. 3 years, and you have a school right there. And they still cannot see it fit to make sure that that work is completed. Because after all this time, it costing the student and everybody have to go all the way around. All the way. It's about time. We need competent people in government to look after our interests. These people and them there, I don't want to say, I don't want to be like, oh, you know, on the lands when you're talking and this kind of language you're using. Yeah. We're not like that. Yeah, we ain't talking like that. We have respect, like Brother Bula would say. It's not to say that you're from Gov and you have no respect. Show people that you have respect. In the campaign, she talked about fishing and what she's going to do about fishermen training at sea and everything. Talk to the fishermen now. Even the sea and all not cooperating. You ain't seeing fish. They kill, well, they finally kill. When last you see fig blogger planting? Right now is Mr. Fig. When you go by the market and the NDC government have one thing in common. They're dying slowly. They say oil dung is a national dish, but poor people can't afford oil dung now. If you could buy the breadfruit for $15, you can buy the meat, and you cannot get no fig. This is what agriculture has come to in our country, sisters and brothers. If anybody had told me that, I would never believe it. But as I say, with the NDC, anything is possible. We look at the cost of living, how it's going higher and higher. I remember when they were in opposition, they were blaming it on Kit Mitchell and the NNP. And they say they're going to eliminate poverty. They raise minimum wage without doing any analysis. Because if you raise the wages, everybody will raise the cost of goods too. So nobody would be better off. You have to do it surgically to know, to do good research to make sure where you could raise, where you can, and you have to take other measures to relieve people with the high cost of living. Don't think you're going to just go and say you raise minimum wage and things going to happen. So that's what we see happening now. You're killing agriculture. Farmers know you can't hire anybody now because they did not address the hours of work. So how could you pay that money for this little? Nothing going to happen. So what is happening now? We have no vegetables, so people buying more rice. And even rice now is scarce. Because the people that were importing it never anticipated having to import so much rice. But that's what people have to live on now. No local produce. And these are the people that said they love agriculture. They love to kill it. You go to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Well, I've been walking up there since the hurricane. And all the vegetables you have there is coming from St. Vincent. St. Vincent, you know. And we have a government here that promised to do so much for agriculture and what they're going to do with the marketing board. They closed down the marketing board one day and they open it the next day with their people. Yep, that's all they do. We have the minister here, the MP, is responsible for environment. But what I want to tell her, stop traveling and take a walk on the beach. Sand mining now is big business. You watch it going on right in front of your eyes and like, you know, and that's the people that like the environment, you know. But because they know who doing it. But you don't want to try to because they're watching you. If you are NNP do it, they're ready to clamp down on you. But if you one of them, no problem. Take as much as you want. Sisters and brothers, I have a few things, but I'm just gonna try to wind down because I know we might get late and Dr. Mitchell have to speak. But a little body tell me, when you go to ask for assistance in the office of the MP, that is if you could find her. When you leave, she asking who that person supporting. So let me tell you, Madam MP, the 15,000 salary you're getting a month and the 10,000 you're getting to assist the people in your constituency, who paying the taxes for you to get that money? Only NDC people? Right, but it's only NDC you want to spend it on. But Sister Emlyn talk about salary bumping. How come the minister's salary and bumping? Only the teachers. And even they're not doing anything for people, young people here. The Chinese have started back the courses. And that used to be run through the Department of Public Administration. Right now, if you apply for a course to go to China, they have to make sure who you're supporting before you get the course. So sisters and brothers, we have to talk about how bad they are and how bad they're mismanaging our country. And we have to demand better government. So I have a message for them. Please, Mr. Prime Minister and the other MPs, do the right thing and resign. Because you fail. NNP sisters and brothers, we're ready, we're willing, and we're able to rescue Grenada. Thank you.
Alvin. Well, I have a message from Mr. Dabrio. He cannot blame the lady, because the lady said what she said, and after she said she waiting for the Prime Minister to tell her something, so she could tell him. She learned it from him. And I said, well, how the man who happened, he was going cabinet. She said, all you forget when he was on the platform during campaign, and he said, take susu in you. Anyway, I done there, Papa. Me, I ain't interfering in them people's business. So she said she learned it from him. So, Mr. Dabrio, talk to the man, not to the woman. Yes, I had to deal with that. Anyway, Brother Dabrio gave you an account of all that is not happening. And that account can be repeated in every constituency throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Yes? But now we need to know, where do we go from here? What will we do? How are we going to, I don't want to use the word transform, so I will say change. Yeah? Or fix, repair, make better what is not happening now. But there's a man with an idea. A big, ideas. All you good, that good class, listening. A man with many ideas, with many solutions. A man who has not failed us in the past will not fail us in the future. He's going to work to make sure that the lives of every Grenadian man, woman, and child is better than it has ever been. Yes? Let's lift our voices. Let's make some noise. Let's invite our political leader, Dr. Kit Mitchell.
Well, yes. Well, yes. All right. Listen. First of all, let me say this to me. Of course, recognize these special people on this platform. You see what's on the platform here tonight? That is real people. Them, this thing, you could take any one of them and make them a minister of anything in Grenada. And you get work done. I'm going to speak to that in a while. But let me say this. Sisters and brothers, I am extremely pleased with the level of your turnout this evening. I really am pleased to see it. It's a clear indication. It's a clear indication of the mood in the country and where you are today and the pain that you're feeling and the behavior of a government that was elected by the people of the country who is showing no interest in how the people are faring in the country. You have heard a lot tonight, so I'm not going to speak to you long. Because one thing good about these sessions, we're having these sessions and we are not stopping. We are not stopping. The plan, as we said to you, as Sister Emlyn outlined, as the Public Relations Officer of the party, said to you that every Thursday and every Sunday there will be one such meeting. And we're streaming, so those people who are home can sit and listen and understand what is taking place in their country. Because you know, because of the level of victimization that some ordinary folks are facing in this country, a lot of people want to come to a meeting and they're afraid to come. What kind of country is this? I get the impression, sisters and brothers, that it appears that these guys in office believe they can force people to support them by putting them under pressure and victimizing them and get everybody to lie down and they can do what they want. And when election time comes, they take all the money that they take from your treasury and they come hand it out and give you. That's their plan, you know. They have a lot of money, we don't have any money. I am tell them choops. The plan is raise a lot of money. And it's your money, you know. It is your money. And they do you all kinds of wickedness today. But you heard the Prime Minister what he said? When you beggy, anybody could buy you. What he does not know is there are people with pride and dignity that money cannot buy. That's why NNP have never attempted to do this to people. NNP want people with love. NNP want people with looking after the interests of the people. And NNP won 15 seats 3 times. You know why? Because when NNP wins an election, they saw to it everybody could eat a food, sisters and brothers. When you start treating people, and you know what is so sad? These guys don't have a clue about politics and people. They came into government pure on greed, selfishness, and spite. So they're enjoying themselves. What they don't know is that people are watching them. And people are judging them well. And I am quite sure that the people already make up their minds. I am sure any one of you identifying with what's taking place in this country, you can't walk the street these days. The members up here, they can't walk the street. I can't walk the street. People can't give you a rest. People who voted for them, people who campaigned for them. My friends, they're all saying one thing today. They are disappointed and fed up with what's taking place in their country. So friends, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. Look at what exists in government called ministers today. You just look at what you have. Look at what you have as ministers of government. They are enjoying themselves. They're living nice. Some of them neck getting so fat because things good. Somebody walks out of school today in St. John's. They never walk a day in their life, but they're getting $15,000 a month. To do what? And another $10,000 to spend supposedly to help people that they're in charge of, you know. So in other words, they're in charge of $25,000 a month. $25,000 a month. But I'm making the point, sisters and brothers. You stood here tonight. And that's why I said I don't have to talk long tonight. Just a few words I want to say before I move to something very important related to my party. Look at the team. These are people who are dedicated to helping people and have made sacrifices in their lives to improve the lives of Grenadians, Caraconians, Petit Martinicans. They didn't have to be there. They didn't have to be there because there's so many things that they can do for themselves and not have to make the sacrifice they're making in politics. But you know why? They're here because they care about the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Their love for people is what has kept them in this thing, sisters and brothers. So I'm making the point. Look, as I tell you, examine what you have. You ask yourself, what Grenadians, Petit Martinicans, Caraconians, were we in our right head when we choose what in government and we left this out? Sisters and brothers, that's a serious thing, you know. Look at what you heard here tonight. Every one of those speakers. Brother BJ speak to you, Brother Bertrand, about agriculture, and he spoke with feelings for the farmers of the country. Feelings that you can't get with those characters in government. When they talk, they're talking down to all of us like little children. They have no feelings. The symbol is a heart, but it's like stone. Sisters and brothers, you listen to Sister Clarice tonight. She talked to you about health. And you could see the feelings as a medical doctor. She knows what it is to receive proper medical care and to help people when they are needing serious medical help. And to see what is happening, it must hurt her. She could have been making thousands of dollars a week as a medical doctor. But she's here tonight talking to you about the pain she feels about what is taking place in our country. That is a fundamental difference between those in government and those who are here tonight. Sisters and brothers, you know, I think myself, how the hell the people at St. John's could watch W and go and vote for Choops? I mean, seriously. I tell you, I was in the parliament. I was in parliament, and I hear a speaking, and I be like, hey, choops. I say, hey, Mr. Speaker, we in the kindergarten here. Then I see her head put on. So I say, well, that look as a guilty party. St. John's stoops. Listen, Brother Darby, when he talks tonight, he talk about your pain. He talk about the problems facing the people of St. John's. The things that could happen that these people don't care about. These are just fundamental facts. That place called St. John's, particularly the Lance and Gove, was a place that was buzzing. As Prime Minister, I used to come up here almost every weekend to buy property up in St. Mark's because I love the weekend. And when I tried to come up here, when NP was in office, I had to pass in the back road. Sometimes I had to come through here, come through that road and go over the section there. Because Guava always have a major function. Party for so, fete for so, all kinds of things. No, I'm driving through Guava. No problem. I can't even see a little drum in the street. Nobody doing anything. Guava gone through. And the NDC put Guava to sleep. But Brother Dabio, he's felt the pain. He was here with you doing all the work in St. John's and St. Mark's. And people leave that to vote for that. Choops. Sisters and brothers, I am saying all that to say we have to take our politics more serious. A lot of times we go and we vote for people because they come on the platform and they talk nice. And not only, no. We have a tendency when you have something with you, sometimes you feel you're tired, you want something new. You know, sometimes a man and a woman doing well together, but you get tired of one another, you want to look for a new thing. So you go, the man gone or the woman gone. And when they go to the new thing, they say, oh God, you mean I leave me husband for that? I leave my wife for this? That happens in life. In business it happens, in sports it happens. That's why we have to take our politics. My sisters and brothers, I use that kind of to demonstrate the example what I'm talking about. But it's a serious matter. We must take our politics more seriously. Because look at the suffering that we're going through today. Not some of us may be able to cope, like I am able to cope individually, but it's painful when you see the problems that some people are facing in the country. When they come to you and they talk to you about the stories that they're going through and the problems they're facing, the victimization, the pain, it's hurtful. We listen tonight. This is the Emily Pear. She sung like a teacher in a classroom. She taught us all tonight. She taught us all tonight. And she spoke with a passion about some of the problems facing the country. And when she spoke, it could see it come from the heart. And she spoke to you about pension. And I know many of us learned a lot tonight. And people at home would be listening and learning about what they heard tonight. What you saw here tonight are people who are committed, who care, who have knowledge, who have ideas how to get things done, how to create jobs, how to move a country and an economy forward. That's what we have. What you see there is some people that whooping. You know what cricket, when they say a man in cricket is whooping, they don't want the ball turning, so they just close their eye and they make a swing. That is what's happening in government, sisters and brothers. And that is the problem we're facing in the country. But I'm saying to you, and I promise you, I won't say much tonight. We start this thing, it's going to end one way. We will plan a serious national match to save Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique. So get ready, friends. Get ready, sisters and brothers. The rescue mission must come. Because all sectors of the society are already hurting. And therefore, we have to rescue our country. And we have to take it back. But sisters and brothers, therefore, that's why the NNP is a vehicle to do it. That's why the NNP must be one united, solid party. Sisters and brothers, I spoke last Sunday and I talked about all the problems in the country. I spoke all the pain of what is taking place in this country and how the government is treating people as dogs. But I also spoke of some of the difficulties existing in our party. In other words, if you're in your own house and things are happening and it's not right, you have to speak. And we're not saying that telling people they must not have ambition. Ambition is good, but it's how you do it and what you do. And I say to people, we're not getting rid of anybody, but we have to tell them when they're wrong. Stop it. Let's build our country. NNP is about building Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, not about ourselves. So when they're talking about the Prime Minister, Dr. Michelle talked about creating division. Division? When something is happening in your house, you scold your children. If you don't scold them and they go wrong completely, then you get blamed. As long as I'm in the new National Party, and as long as I have a responsibility to speak my mind, like I expect people like Gabriel and others to speak their mind, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique will continue to move forward, and the people will be enhanced. So, sisters and brothers, fear nothing. The NNP is going forward, and we will be united together to build Carriacou and Petite Martinique. So tonight, as I said, you heard enough. When I listened to them out there, I said, no, I can't say much here tonight because I heard enough. And therefore, get ready. Get ready. Whether it's a washikan you have, whether it's a slipper, get ready. NNP will move forward to rescue Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Michelle. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, just a few housekeeping matters before we leave. A few announcements, and in the meantime, I'm asking from Miss Roselle Marshall, just check me backstage. If you close around, please check me backstage. Now, normally, we'll do these meetings on Thursday and Sunday night. Yes? Wait for the closing prayer. We'll have a closing prayer. I want God to bless you and give you traveling mercies as you go back. However, this Sunday, we have put this Sunday meeting back to next Tuesday because Wagiti is having a major bingo. And we know you ain't walking nowhere, so you ought to go and look for a little money. We ain't want to take that away from you. So no meeting this Sunday. But next Tuesday, we are in St. Andrews, Southwest. That's by Sister Yolan's area. And then next Thursday, we should be in St. David's. So no meeting on Sunday. Is Miss Marshall here? Is it a miss or a mister? A mister, they tell me miss. You see? Anyway, Mr. Marshall is going to do the closing prayer. Thank you all very much for coming. Let's stand, let's acknowledge the Lord's presence and get our final blessing.
Let's pray. Loving Father in heaven, we thank you for your blessings upon us today. We thank you for a meeting that was well spent and everyone had participated. We thank you for our political leader. As we are about to depart from this place, help us that we'll go to our various homes safe, and help us that we'll always remember that we'll put our party first in all what we do. Bless us and keep us and give us traveling mercy now, I pray. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, my dear brother. Please, I hope you all get home, everyone, very safe. Take care. Good night.